What are this fellow's prospects?
Surprisingly good. He's only suffered some contusions and abrasions, nothing broken. There isn't any reason he shouldn't be up and about by tomorrow. It would have been a different story if he'd landed on his head. The Lord smiled upon him today.
Too bad the Lord didn't smile before he went out the window. Why not train somebody to take over for you?
I did have an apprentice not long ago, my ward, Nadine.
What happened to her?
Oh, this is no kind of life for a restless young person. I encouraged her to put her talents to use elsewhere. She's ministering to the local native tribe now.
Who is this tribe?
I'm afraid I don't know much about them, just that they have a small village somewhere in the valley. I believe they call themselves the Audam? Autumn? I'm not certain of the pronunciation. At any rate, they don't come to the town, and I imagine the townsfolk mostly let them be as well.
So, how's the medicine business?
What a question! I'm a physician, Miss Leger, not some two-bit snake oil salesman.
Didn't mean to imply you were.
I'm sure. At any rate, I've not had many patients of late. This poor soul is the only one this week. But that is the physician's dilemma, is it not? We are taught that idleness is a sin. But better that I am idle and the townsfolk healthy than my surgery be full of the ill and infirm.
I'll see you later, Doc.
Do take care of yourself.
I imagine you get your hands pretty dirty in this line of work?
It's for cleansing before, not after. I am a follower of the modern European theories, positing that disease follows from the propagation of tiny animalcules living on the surface of the skin. Thorough washing with soap and water is said to eradicate them.
Drown the little bastards, huh?
Something like that.
What's in the pouch?
Oh, just some supplies for house calls and emergencies.
Have you actually read all these books, Doc?
I have. They also serve for reference. Learning is a lifelong endeavor.
Quite a variety of potions and tonics you've got here, Doc.
It's only a small part of the bounteous pharmacopoeia that nature might make available to us, if only we knew her secrets. There is so much to be discovered.
Pretty common-looking leather pouch. The stuff inside isn't of much use to me.
October 25th, 1850. I'd like to extend an invitation to meet with me at the offices of the Rosewater Post and discuss the possibility of an extended commission. How soon can you arrive in town? I await your reply and look forward to making your acquaintance. Yours, Joan Gallagher.
Welcome back, Miss Leger.
Hey, Sheriff?
Miss Leger?
Could you tell me about the ladies in this photo again?
Those are my sisters, Lord bless them. Mary was always my favorite. The trouble we used to get into when we was kids.
A plain leather bag. Wonder what's inside.
Beulah's a real firebrand. She'd smack you across the face soon as look at you. She did to me plenty. Reba married an oil man. I think
Got him. Reminder, confiscated items to be placed in the box below. Hey, Sheriff?
What can I do you for?
A man in your position must have plenty to say about the town he serves.
Suppose that's true, but a stroll down Main will tell you most everything you need to know.
Can you tell me about Joan Gallagher?
Whew, I've yet to meet anyone with a more fiery temper. My advice is to stay on Joni's good side. You don't want to end up going out the window like that poor bastard.
What's the story with Gentleman Jake?
Which one? If even half of them are true, he's a lion among men, a real Western hero. But you can catch his show while he's in town and hear it straight from the source.
Are you acquainted with Lola Johnson?
Not really. She mostly keeps to herself. As long as she don't cause trouble, I'm willing to overlook the squatting.
I saw a lady coming out of the saloon earlier. She was older, fancy looking, sounded old country. Any idea who that is?
Can't say it rings any bells. Wonder what someone like that'd be doing in Rosewater.
Is Doc Sedgwick on the up and up, or is he one of those frontier quacks?
Oh no, Doc Sedgwick's tried and true. Well, he saved the town from a yellow fever epidemic just last year. The Doc's pretty much the glue holding this town together. Leastways, that's what he's fond of telling everybody.
Anything of interest in the surrounding area?
Not really. The San Bernardino Valley don't offer much in the way of sightseeing. There's an army fort, Fort Beaumont, and an abandoned relic that used to be a laboratory. There's also an Indian village on the other side of the valley. But you'll want to steer clear. I've heard tell they can be real territorial. But all that's outside my jurisdiction. When you leave my town, you're taking your chances out there.
Thanks for the chat, Sheriff.
Come back anytime.
Not the best quality lockpicks, but they'll do in a pinch. Looks sturdy, but there's some rot creeping around the handles. Fantastic. The Smithy's cold furnace. Well now, what have we here? Got what I came for. Best not to stick around. Fancy. Too bad there doesn't seem to be a pawn shop in town. Here's your watch back.
No fooling. You actually got it?
They didn't used to call me Housebreaker Harley for nothing.
Hey, I'm impressed.
Anyways, that's my part of the bargain held up. You gonna let me in now?
Sure, go on. Oh, and thanks. I know we've had our tiffs, but I really do appreciate you getting this for me. My dear departed pa can rest easy again knowing his watch is back where it belongs.
That's not your watch at all, is it?
Well, it is now.
Kid, if I were you, I'd make myself scarce. Otherwise, the only way you'll be able to tell the time on that thing is by squatting over a mirror. You get me?
Yes, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, are you ready for some thrills? Are you ready for some excitement? Are you ready for some fun?
Get on with it already!
And without further ado, now present the star of our show, the last man standing at the Bleachbone Gulch Showdown. The only man to defeat bastard Billy Boakes in a duel. The man who discovered a gentleman, then gifted it to an orphanage. Gentleman Jake Ackerman! Yahoo!
Thank you, Charlie, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gentleman Jake's Wild West. We got a heck of a performance for you today, but first, allow me to introduce my brave and loyal assistant, Danny Luo. Now let's get this show on the road. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you rope a steer. Keep it going, Danny. Maybe you'll lasso yourself one someday.
Woo-wee!
The sun beat down upon them as the duelists stood and stared. But Billy Boakes had never fought somebody so prepared. Jake drew his gun, and bang! The bastard crashed down with a thud. The legendary foe lay dead, defeated, in the mud.
And now for a most challenging proposition, perhaps the greatest feat of marksmanship to which a man can set his sights. You see those 5 juggling balls that Charlie keeps whirling aloft in such a dizzying display? Ladies and gentlemen, affix your eyes on that green ball in particular, and do not dare blink. For with but a single bullet, I will pluck it from the very air.
Big deal. real. You were practically next to him.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. Thank you all so much. You've been a truly magnanimous, magnificent, and majestic audience.
And you can take home a piece of the legend. Come on down to the Check of Diamonds to get an autograph or a souvenir ferrotype. We'll be there until last call. Stop by and shake hands with Gentleman Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Locked. This place is falling apart, but these stone tiles were nice. Once.
I'm telling you, Jake, I need that money tonight.
You knew the deal going in, Charlie. There's nothing I can do about it.
We'll see about that.
Hope I'm not interrupting, gentlemen.
My friend here was just saying his farewells. Weren't you, Charlie? Please do pardon that unpleasant display. What can I do for you, my dear?
Name's Harley Leger. I'd like to interview you for the Rosewater Post.
Well, shucks, it would be my pleasure, Miss Leger. Shall we go upstairs to my room? Beats standing out here in the dust.
Lead on.
Miss Leger, permit me to introduce my associate, Danny Luo.
We've met, actually. Not formally, I suppose. Nice to properly make your acquaintance, Miss Leger.
Likewise, Mr. Luo.
Please, you can call me Danny. Everybody does.
So what did you think of the show? Pretty spectacular, huh?
Yes, that's definitely the word for it.
I'm glad you think so. Wait a minute. The heckler. Was that you?
Yeah, so what? I like keeping performers on their toes. That way their heads don't swell up.
What a refreshing perspective, Miss Leger. I appreciate your candor. Shall we proceed with the interview?
Right. So who is the real Gentleman Jake?
Mercy me. That's a hell of a question. Now, I ain't much for philosophizing, Miss Leger, so I'll just say this. In my case, what you see is what you get.
I see. Well, okay then. How did you come to pick Rosewater as your latest venue?
Simple. Plenty of folk in this town are looking for a good show. I ain't so hoity-toity as to think El Presidio or Los Virgenes are the only places worth visiting. After spending all day bent double over a pan in a creek or working his keister off down in a mine, a man is entitled to some amusement, wouldn't you say?
You're clearly a man of great deeds. Which would you say has been your greatest?
I value all my accomplishments equally, Miss Leger. To single any one out would diminish the others. I couldn't bring myself to do that.
What a noble sentiment.
I like to think so.
Is there anything that frightens the mighty Gentleman Jake?
You know, somebody once told me, fear is only as deep as the mind allows. When you deal with the type of folks out on the frontier that I do, marauders, bandits, desperados, your fears have got to be shallow. Otherwise, you won't last 2 seconds.
Hey, Jake, don't you have an appointment with Miss Sally this evening?
Damn, you're right. Sorry to cut things short, Miss Leger. I've got another engagement I need to prepare for.
I should have plenty for my article. I appreciate your time.
Well, I look forward to reading your story in the next edition. Danny, see the lady out, would you?
Good meeting you, Danny. Guess I'll see you around. Not to worry, gents. Jake's all yours. Hey, you were in the show. Nice juggling.
Thank you, ma'am. Jake! Get your ass out here right now, you four-flusher.
Now, what's all the ruckus?
Don't play the fool with me, Ackerman. You know damn well why I'm here. You might think you can give me the runaround, but I wonder if my friends here won't convince you to pay up.
Charlie. Didn't anybody ever tell you only cowards get others to solve their problems for them?
You slum-guzzling bastard. I'm gonna fix that wobbling jaw of yours.
Come on up here, then.
Are you sure you won't reconsider, Charlie?
Shut the hell up and get out of my way. McGuire, take care of the kid. Let's dance, cowboy.
I suggest you clear out while you can, little lady. This can get ugly.
From where I'm standing, it's pretty damn ugly already. Hey!
So that's how you want it, huh? Fine. I'll let the boss deal with you when he's done. We can do this all day. Hey! Don't start any trouble, lady.
Whoopsie daisy.
Hey, nice one.
Not the most honorable way of winning a fight, but these boys were hardly playing fair.
Hey, Charlie. Looks like your guys weren't as tough as you hoped.
Whoo-wee! That got the old blood pumping.
You've got some interesting associates, Mr. Ackerman. If you'll excuse me, I have an article to write.
Hang on just a minute. I'd be a fool to just let you walk away after that performance. Come on back up here. I've got a business proposition that may interest you.
What about Miss Sally?
Oh, she can wait. All right, Miss Leger, I won't beat around the bush. Danny and I are looking to get some folks together for a job, and I think you'd make a damn fine addition to the team.
What sort of job?
Ever hear of Dr. Bennett Clark?
Of course. The etheric researcher. What about him?
Dr. Clark moved out here not long after the big disaster back in Lamplight City. He kept up his research, even did some demonstrations at the Opera House. Till one day, he just up and vanished. Nobody's seen hide nor hair of him in nearly a year.
And you want to go looking for him?
Oh, I want to go looking all right. The thing is, we're going in search of Dr. Clark's fortune.
Come again?
The feller was loaded. Somehow he managed to talk a bunch of big money investors from back east into financing his research. All those gizmos and doodads don't come cheap, you know? We find his stash, we'll all be rolling in it for years to come.
Stash? What stash? Surely it's all just numbers on a ledger somewhere.
Nope, I'm telling you, he kept his assets in cold, hard cash.
So you're looking to rob a man blind just because nobody knows where he is?
Now, nothing so uncouth as that. Picture this. A swashbuckling pirate captain, his vessel freighted with treasure. The vast fleets of law and order circling him, closing in. He digs a hole in the sands of some sun-kissed tropical beach to conceal his ill-gotten loot and makes himself scarce. Circumstance conspires to deprive him of the opportunity to return. Now, he's the brave treasure hunter who seeks and unearths the bounty guilty of robbery? Or is he just returning to the world what would otherwise lie forgotten and worthless? See, we're not after Clark's personal wealth. The money in question was meant to bankroll his etheric research. Since that's been outlawed, he can't touch it. And it's a drop in the ocean for the investors. They'll never miss it.
How many folks are you planning on bringing into this?
That depends on what we find. But I promise you, we'll all get a fair split, enough to make it all worthwhile.
What's your plan?
Clark had a lab nearby, a couple miles outside of town. Last place anybody saw him. We poke around there, retrace his steps, and it should lead us straight to the loot.
Uh-huh.
Now, call me crazy, but I get the impression you're not entirely convinced.
Truth be told, I'm not. Assuming this fortune even exists, which it probably doesn't, how do I know you won't just leave me for dead and take it all for yourself?
I admit we're asking you to put a lot of faith in us. Hell, I'd probably be just as incredulous were I in your position.
Mr. Ackerman's a good man, Miss Leger. He's never led me astray in all the time I've known him.
I appreciate it, Danny, but I think Miss Leger's gonna need a little more than just your word. Look, I've known quite a few moneyed folk in my time. They all got one thing in common. You know what that is?
They couldn't give a rat's ass about folks like you and me?
I admit I cannot emphatically contradict you there, but not what I meant.
So what do they have in common?
They're good at keeping their money safe. Clark's cash is out there. I just know it. As far as your safety, you just took out a couple of brutes twice our size. It's plain to see you can take care of yourself.
I'm pretty good with my pistols, and Mr. Ackerman can talk his way out of anything. But we could use somebody who's good in a fight.
Besides, stick around old Jake long enough and you'll have enough material to write a whole book. Forget a measly little write-up in the local rag. I'm offering you a front row seat to a much better show. So, what do you say?
All right, Mr. Ackerman. I'm in. At the very least, this venture should make for an interesting tale.
I'm pleased to hear you say that.
You won't regret this, Miss Leger.
We'll set out for the lab at daybreak. And please, call me Jake.
Dr. Clark's laboratory is a short hike from Rosewater. After getting run out of Lamplight City, this is where he went to ground. A secluded desert facility where he could get up to who knows what. Jake, Danny, and I head there at first light to see what secrets he left behind.
Quite a sight, ain't it?
I'll say. What the hell was Clark doing out here?
That's a question for minds greater than ours, Miss Leger.
Can we talk?
What's on your mind?
I've got some more questions about you.
I'm always happy to answer.
Just how did you come to learn about Clark's money?
Not long ago, I got to talking with a feller at the saloon. The whiskey had loosened his lips and he blabbed all about the success of his Aurum claim. But then he told me about how he'd invested most of that Aurum in Clark's research and how he wasn't the only one.
And you're certain these investors won't be wanting their money back?
Can't speak for the rest, but this feller won't. See, his aforementioned loose lips got him into trouble with some other folk. Poor bastard was shot dead in the street.
I see. How'd you and Danny get together?
I was packing up after a run of shows in Quick Point, having a hard time of it. You see, my assistant had up and left a few days prior, so I was flying solo.
Your assistant left? Why?
The showman's life ain't for everybody. I don't fault him for it. Anyhow, Danny comes up and offers to help with the crates. You should have seen him. Eyes wide, hands shaking, downright charming. So Danny gives me a hand and we get to talking. Turns out he's got experience roping and shooting. Even gave me a demonstration. I offered him the job as my assistant on the spot. The rest, as they say, is history.
Would you care to recount some of your previous adventures?
I'd love to, but I'm afraid now just ain't the time. Soon as we have a respite, I'll be glad to regale you.
I'm impressed, Miss Leger. Never thought I'd live to see the day Jake refused to tell his story.
Enough jabber. Let's push on. Guess it shouldn't come as a surprise that the front door is not wide open for us.
That's a serious-looking lock.
Way too complicated for these lockpicks.
So, how are we supposed to get in?
Know if there are any locksmiths in town?
I'd prefer if we handled this ourselves. My old pal Captain Stokes is stationed nearby at Fort Beaumont. He owes me a favor, or two.
Maybe he could give us some high-powered equipment to get inside.
You read my mind, Danny boy. Wouldn't do any harm to take a look around out here first, though.
Dr. Clark really liked his sarsaparilla. There must be at least 30 empty bottles in these crates.
I once drank 10 bottles of sarsaparilla for a bet.
Did you win?
Well, yes, and no.
Doing some tidying, are we?
We might find some use for these. Come help me. I can't carry them all myself.
Hey, I ain't gonna start belly aching if you want to go around collecting refuse. Might fetch us a few shillings if we sell them back at the Jack of Diamonds.
There you go. And some for you.
Thanks.
Looks like Clark missed his last mail delivery. Seems to be from another scientist.
February 12th, 1850. Dr. Clark, I hope this letter finds you well. Upon hearing news of the reactionary and ignorant ban our leaders have seen fit to impose, my thoughts went to you and your thankless labors in the wilderness. When they hounded you out after the expo, and I wouldn't be surprised if Leroy's cronies sabotaged your display to discredit you, you were undaunted. After enduring such a trying year, I know how much building that lab out there meant to you. A turning point in your fortunes, or so it seemed. Yet I am sure you will persevere once more. One day when rationality again prevails in the halls of government and this silly thing is lifted, I hope to take you up on your offer of a tour. If you've returned to the bosom of civilization by then, all the better. With warm regards, Dr. Roderick Nethersole. P.S. How you managed to rig a TT-180 console to control both your equipment and door mechanisms still baffles me. Mine is destined for the scrapyard.
Wonder if Dr. Clark boarded these up himself. The good doctor was pretty self-sufficient out here. This is one of the sturdiest locks I've ever seen.
I think we're gonna need to get creative. The fort stockpile might have something that could help.
Hey, Danny?
Ma'am?
Got any of your own ideas on how we might get into the lab?
Well, I think Jake has the right idea. We should ask for help at the fort.
We should get a move on.
What are you doing? This is no place for sightseers.
And just who in the ether are you?
Such disrespect. You toy with forces you do not understand.
The lady asked you a question, sir.
Heed my warning. Stay away from this place. Its mysteries are not for you.
Hey, wait! You forgot your... hat?
What was that all about?
Good question. Tinfoil. Why was that man wearing it as a hat? This isn't really my style. No sign of that odd bearded fellow. I wonder where he scampered off to.
I reckon we got ourselves bigger fish to fry right now, Miss Leger. Hey, look, a show!
What a racket.
She's pretty good, though.
Caramba! Vaya. Anda! Híjole! Nobody in sight, but I'm sure there are guards somewhere. That thing has seen some action. Can we talk?
What's on your mind?
Any idea who that odd fellow with the beard was?
Not a clue. Sure seemed a few cows short of a herd, didn't he?
I'll say. Let's hope he doesn't cause us any trouble. Enough jabber. Let's push on.